People want an audio book, so here is good practice for coming topics. Why would God mention America as a colony in Ezekiel 38 and not skip right over Britain and speak about America directly, which is its own nation by that point and is much more powerful than Britain? Retreating? We're just fighting in reverse, said one American general from in during the Korea conflict. Never give up and never surrender, friends. You don't pray, Lord, keep my children from all trouble. No, you say, Lord, be with them as you were with me, and lead and guide them into who you are. If God says, are you with me? Say, you have my blood. Be willing to die, suffer persecution, torment, torture for God. Like almost bedtime, almost dead time for puke. With my movie coming, hypocrites are actually great people to save because they already have a base in religion. But what has happened cannot be fixed. Puke must go away forever. When people talk about the temptation with Potiphar's wife, they're not even talking about some David and Bathsheba experience. They're talking about sexual assault from Potiphar's wife jumping on Joseph until he goes to the lake of fire. How much sense does that make? That does not make sense. And we know that's not true. And that is truth. That is the truth. Like Captain Marvel during Endgame when she said, I have to leave. What's more important than half of the universe being snapped out of existence? Movie reviews coming. Jesus might have thought women wanting him was cute, even downright darling, but still don't do it. This is something I did not know. Every sermon, lecture, and speech, especially on TV, is scripted. The funny thing is I didn't even know that. So appreciate my videos of one takes and no edits, friends. Especially the ones on camera where so much more could have gone wrong. That's why I was wondering whether the debates with Armin Raw were real or not. He kind of goes where you take the conversation. He and Matt are both theists, by the way, or at least lean toward that. More to come. But there's no way to justify mentioning puke nor temptation with persecution. Puke hates us. There's no reason to ever mention puke. And also, you can't justify temptation with persecution. There's no way to justify it because then it allows you to be evil too. Why is there grace for them to persecute you, but not for you to persecute them with lies about them and insults? Oh, there's just grace for their made-up fantasy fornication, lack of perception. That's what that is. How come they never calculate the before and after of what they say? And I actually recorded a video a long time ago but I haven't edited it yet, that deals with people don't think about the after because they've never had enough problems in their lives to give them the right perception. Same with puke. Why glorify something that you can do yourself? That doesn't make any sense. Especially the scenario they're painting. They're not talking about Joseph voluntarily veering off into doing something wrong. They're talking about Joseph literally being forced to fornicate against his will through sexual assault from nasty, gross, disgusting Potiphar's wife, who's not worth sleeping with because she's so gross because of her sin, in which she literally jumps on Joseph and ignores his requests for her to get off of him, and then forces him to the lake of fire anyway through fornication, despite all the persecution he's been through with guys attacking him, including persecution from her too. It's that sexual assault part that people can't justify. That's saying evil runs the world and there's nothing we can do about it. Like it's acceptable in God's eyes to sexually assault people by just sexually assaulting them until they go to the lake of fire, not before you persecute them first, every day. Is that a joke or something? God is going to judge them for their unbridled, disgusting lust and wickedness. That's based upon people having a false fantasy from never having problems in their lives. A fantasy is already something made up, false, not real, and they have a false perception of that false perception because wicked people aren't yummy to sleep with. Cogitate on that, friends. Just like can't separate the temptation from the person, their sin makes them disgusting, not worth it. Can't separate the temptation from the persecution, because then why are we not allowed to persecute them too? If they're getting away with it. They're not. Exactly. Because that's unacceptable. That's why they're not tempting to sleep with. Do we want to go in that circle again? The audacity for her to think that she's allowed to do whatever she wants to do, including literally jumping on Joseph and sexually assaulting him against his will, is disturbing and disgusting. But Joseph needs to walk away because on that day he's fired anyway. Imagine how angry she would be if on that day she suggested something sexual to Joseph and Joseph said, "I just told the entire office a vicious lie about you right before I came here." Imagine how angry she would be if she heard that. But that's what her and others do toward Joseph every day. That's why there's no temptation with her. Want to go in that circle again? How wicked is that? I'm going to lie and insult Joseph as much as I like, then sexually assault him as much as I like. Wicked people give off a nasty effluvium that's disgusting because of their sin. If sex didn't feel so good and was so worth it, then why do wicked people fornicate with each other so much? Or maybe they're fornicating because they don't have the right mindset. Or maybe Potiphar's wife knows she's disgusting and gross because of her sin, but doesn't care anyway because she's behaving illogically. There are a lot of out-of-place things in this world and out-of-place behavior that should not be here, but are here because of sin. So just because somebody is doing something doesn't mean there is a benefit to it. They could just be slamming their head against the wall for no reason at all, at least beyond anything that we can understand. So sex with gross, wicked Potiphar's wife is not a good idea. There's a sense of accomplishment when you pass a test and people see that you are who you say you are. Now there's a sense of accomplishment on your behalf when they see you praise God. That could be right, but this is like the bloopers section. Every day means happens every day. Every day separated means each day. All right, friends. Till next time. God bless.